Hey, get in here. Close the door. I don't want you to get bit by the mosquitoes. So, first of all, thank you so much for choosing my house to rob today. There's so many options. It's a privilege for you to be here. I've got a selection of drinks for you to choose from. Great choice, Fancy Perrier. I like it. Okay, so the kids are upstairs sleeping right now, and if they wake up, it's really going to make this whole experience very unenjoyable for you. So to streamline the process, I've got a few things laid out. I've got a 50-inch 4K for you. I've got a MacBook Air, and I even have a pair of earrings from Peoples gifted to my daughter for her baptism. Really, who needs it more, you or her, am I right? Now, hold on. You look a little familiar. You're the one who took my car last year. I knew I recognized you. I love repeat offenders. So I didn't want to take away the full joy of you robbing my house. So these are just a few items. If you head upstairs to the master bedroom, my wife's jewelry is laid out for you. Take whatever you want. Head downstairs. You'll find my safe wide open for you. Take whatever you want. Now, I'm going to be in the kitchen making myself a sandwich. If you have any questions, feel free to come and join me. What's mine is already yours.
Common sense, loony, that's my tune. Bringing truth to the red and white moon.
Personally, I am a man.
Top of the morning to you, or whatever time of day it is where you are. It's Rex again, back with another dose of common sense from an absolute loony. And so let's get into it. The theme du jour is one of the most popular words in Canadian government today. Control. Yes, control. Something mainstream media never shines a light on, and something that needs to be focused on a lot more than it currently is. So buckle up and let's take a ride down the common sense highway. Okay, so let's start with this whole Doug Ford and Crown Royal fiasco. It's got me a bit fired up, not in a screaming rage way, but more like, come on, really? This story highlights how control, from government regulations to political posturing, ends up messing with everyday people. Stick with me.
Well, you aren't the largest in Ontario or in the country. LCBO is the largest customer in North America. Oh, let's target our largest customer. Who targets their largest customer? What, have you lost your mind? Like, I think they're a few fries short of a Happy Meal, these people. But what I don't get, when you're someone's largest customer in North America, you're going after the largest customer. You know something? I always say smart people aren't too smart, and you guys are about as dumb as a bag of hammers for doing this. So, you know something? I found a bottle, and I don't even drink, of Crown Royal, right? I see that Crown Royal. I saw it at home. So this is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do.
I'll break it down. First off, picture this. Ontario Premier Doug Ford at a press conference all worked up about Diageo closing their Crown Royal bottling plant in Amherstburg. He grabs a bottle of the stuff, calls the company dumb as a bag of hammers, and a few fries short of a Happy Meal, then tries to dramatically dump it out on camera as a big protest. But here's the kicker. It had one of those slow pour caps on it, so instead of a quick splash, it just trickled out really slowly. He ended up looking like a total buffoon, fumbling with a symbolic gesture that falls flat. Not exactly the powerful statement he was going for. But then he doubles down, saying that Ontario is Crown Royal's #1 customer worldwide, and attacking the province like this is just plain stupid. Okay, fair point on the surface. Ontario buys a ton of it. But let's get real here and dig into why this whole thing screams control gone wrong. Sure, Ontario's their top buyer, but Diageo didn't attack anyone. They're just shifting bottling operations for the U.S. market south of the border to streamline their supply chain, not some petty jab. Crown Royal is mashed, distilled, blended, and aged right here in Canada at their Gimli distillery in Manitoba. And get this, Diageo employs about 700 people across Canada, with the Amherstburg closure hitting 168 jobs. That leaves over 500 jobs still in play, including about 80 at Gimli and 200 at their Valleyfield facility in Quebec, where bottling for Canada continues. If Ford pushes a boycott, who's really getting hurt? More Canadians in those remaining jobs. That's not standing up for workers, that's shooting ourselves in the foot. But here's where the control theme really kicks in. Why is Ontario such a massive customer anyway? It's not pure free market demand. It's because of the LCBO, the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. They dictate what every store stocks, enforcing uniform products across the province. In other provinces or in the US, liquor sales are more open, driven by what people actually want, not top-down rules. Why does our government need to control our booze like this? It stifles choice and props up sales for big brands like Crown Royal, making us their #1 by force, not choice. And one step further, Why is our premier out there basically telling us what to boycott? If you're mad about Trump and his tariffs, fine. Skip American products on your own dime. But government stepping in? It feels like they're trying to control the narrative, forcing this anti-US vibe among the trade mess. And especially when our side's been poking the bear too. We don't need politicians micromanaging our shopping carts or fueling division. Let people decide. That's real freedom, not controlled chaos. Drop a comment below if this government overreach bugs you too. Okay, from liquor control to gun control and this whole mess in Canada where homeowners are getting screwed for defending their own families. Just last week in Lindsay, Ontario, this guy Jeremy McDonald wakes up to an intruder breaking into his apartment. The creep's armed with a crossbow, for crying out loud. McDonald grabs a knife, stabs the guy to protect himself, and now he's the one being charged with aggravated assault. The homeowner becomes the criminal? That's backwards, and it's infuriating.
That scares me.
The Kawartha Lakes Police Service is facing public backlash for charging a homeowner with assault during a break and enter.
You got to do what you got to do to stop it. And, you know, the police shouldn't be making rash decisions on whether to charge somebody or not.
Early Monday around 3:20 in the morning, officers say a 44-year-old homeowner in his Lindsay apartment was awoken by an intruder, a 41-year-old man. There was an altercation. The intruder was rushed to hospital with serious life-threatening injuries, then airlifted to Toronto for care. Police charged the homeowner with aggravated assault and assault with a weapon.
Straighten this out, because this is wrong. You should be able to take care of yourself if you can.
The intruder, who was also previously wanted by police, was also charged with possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose, along with break, enter, and theft.
Well, since that story blew up, everyone's talking about castle law. You know what that is. It's the basic right to defend your home, your castle, without second-guessing if you'll end up in handcuffs. In places like the US, it's straightforward. If someone busts in and threatens you, you can fight back. But here, not so much. We've got these convoluted rules from 2013 that make you jump through hoops considering 9 factors like, was the force reasonable? Who has time for that in a life or death moment? And don't get me started on police times. They're a joke. I know firsthand. In rural areas or even cities, it can take forever for cops to show. By then, it's too late. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre nailed it this week. He wants to change the criminal code so if an intruder illegally enters your home and poses a threat, your defense is presumed reasonable. Your home is your castle, he said. He's pushing for a stand-on-guard bill to stop treating victims like villains after years of liberal nonsense.
Conservatives are standing here today based on the principle that your home is your castle. We're calling on the government to introduce and immediately pass the stand-on-guard law. Failing which, one of our party's MPs will put forward such a bill. It will amend Section 34.2 of the Criminal Code, which right now says that you can defend yourself based on 9 very complicated and vague conditions. Now look, if you're defending your house, you don't have time to think through 9 different conditions.
But Justice Minister Sean Fraser, he shoots back on X saying, we already have a self-defense right from the Harper days, and Poilievre's just grandstanding. Grandstanding? Give me a break. If we had real rights, McDonald wouldn't be facing charges. People like Fraser act like everything's fine, but they're out of touch. They're the ones attacking common sense while homeowners suffer. Look, just a few days ago in Vaughan, Ontario, a father of 4, Liam Farouchi, confronts armed invaders in his home. His daughter's held at gunpoint. The family's terrified, and he gets shot dead right in front of them, trying to protect his kids. Heartbreaking. The government doesn't want us to control our own lives. If someone breaks into my house and threatens my family, I have every right to defend them at any cost, no questions asked. And to tie this into our strict gun control laws? Come on. The feds keep pushing to disarm law-abiding Canadians. But when police can't get there on time and the system punishes self-defense, do you really think people will give up their guns? Hell no. We need protection when the system fails us. Who's with me on this? Drop a comment below. We got to push for a change before more families pay the price. Now let's get down to the heart of this episode. I usually like a little sass and humor to my content, but this is absolutely serious, not a joke in the slightest.
I just received the letter from the government, from the Office of Canada's Election Commissioner, informing me that I'm being investigated for my reporting during Canada's 45th general election. The stories in question detail the alleged history of Thomas Keeper, someone you probably know of by now. He's the now fired Liberal candidate for Calgary Confederation. Juno News worked diligently to ensure the accuracy of what we published, and nothing then or now undermines its truth. We went above and beyond to ensure that we were reporting facts that were in the public interest.
Let's start from the top. A journalist in Canada getting criminally investigated for doing his job. I'm talking about Keean Bexte from Juno News and this whole mess with former Liberal candidate Thomas Keeper during the 2025 federal election. From everything I've seen and heard, this is unacceptable, and we need to stand up for guys like Keean who are just trying to get the truth out there. Let's break it down step by step because this story shows how far things have gone off the rails. It all kicked off back in March 2025 during the lead up to the April federal election. Thomas Keeper was the Liberal Party's candidate in Calgary Confederation, a swing riding that was neck and neck. He was up against Conservative Jeremy Nixon, and polls showed it could go either way. Then Keean Bexte drops this bombshell report at Juno News. Based on interviews with over a half a dozen sources, former friends, associates, even a Calgary businessman named Brett Pierce, Keean uncovers allegations of serious abuse. We're talking claims of physical assault, sexual assault, and verbal abuse towards women. One source said Keeper bragged about forcing his wife into unwanted sexual stuff. Keean swears he corroborated everything, reached out to Keeper for comment, but got nothing. This wasn't some hit piece. It was journalism in the public interest, especially since this guy wanted to be an MP making laws for all of us. But things escalated even further when Keean went to Keeper's office to hand deliver his question, giving Keeper a fair shot to respond. Keeper freaks out, calls the cops, and claims Keean got physical with him, like assaulted him right there. But here's the kicker. Keean had a hidden camera rolling the whole time. The video, which Juno News released, shows zero physical contact. Nothing.
And I approached him outside of his campaign office, where I had an envelope of the questions to hand him. Mr. Keeper, Thomas. Hi, Thomas. I just have some questions to ask you. We just have some questions to ask you. Hi, Mr. Keeper. Okay, great. Thank you.
No. Sorry. How do you come in?
I need my dog. Sorry.
We just have some questions to ask you.
I heard your side of the story. I guess he's claiming you went in and came in kind of hot and made physical contact with him.
What?
Keeper was caught lying to the police on tape. It's wild. Instead of answering tough questions, he tries to turn the tables with a false accusation. Classic deflection, right? Just days later, on March 28th, the Liberal Party drops Keeper like a hot potato. Officially, they say it was because he didn't disclose a 2005 domestic assault charge that got stayed in court. But come on, Keean's reports came out on March 26th and 27th, detailing way more recent and disturbing stuff. The timing screams that Juno's story lit a fire under them. They replaced him with Corey Hogan, who actually ended up winning the seat by a slim margin, about 900 votes. But without Keean's reporting, who knows how that race would have turned out. So now we fast forward to this week, September 2nd, 2025. Elections Canada hits Keean with a criminal investigation under Section 91 of Canada Election Act. They're saying his reporting made false statements about Keeper committing crimes, and that it was meant to sway the election. Keean could face up to 5 years in prison and a $50,000 fine. 5 years for reporting sourced allegations that embarrassed the Liberals. This is insane. Juno News stands by the story, and groups like the Independent Press Gallery are calling it an attack on journalism. Keean says it's an attempt to intimidate reporters from digging into government candidates. This thing feels like it's ripped right out of George Orwell's 1984. Dystopian, dangerous, and just plain wrong. The government using laws to silence critics. That's not democracy. That's thought control. And it doesn't stop here. Look at Canada's Online Harms Act, Bill C-63. Now, even though it died on the order paper a couple of times, first in January, then again after the election, the Liberals keep pushing ideas like it. It would create a digital safety commission to police harmful online content with massive fines and even jail time for stuff they deem hate speech or misinformation. It's a censorship machine, giving bureaucrats power to decide what's okay to say. We're already being silenced more and more every day. There could come a time when I couldn't even post a video like this without worrying about a knock at the door. I mean, look at England. They're already there. They're arresting dozens of people daily for tweets the government calls harmful or inciting violence. Just this week, comedian Graham Linehan got busted at the airport over posts about transgender issues. Nigel Farage is warning that even Americans could get censored or arrested for online stuff if it offends UK laws. It's a slippery slope, folks. If they can go after Keean for election reporting, what's next? That's why we gotta support Keean Bexte and Juno News. Donate if you can, share their stories, and fight back against this censorship creep. Sign petitions, call your MPs, and don't let them normalize this. Journalism isn't a crime, but silencing it is. If you agree, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going before they try to shut it down. All right, that's it for today. I wanted to cover the temporary foreign workers mess, but it's a pretty long story, so we'll save that for the next one. But I'll tell you, you'll never guess what companies are hiring temporary foreign workers over Canadians. I'll give you a clue on one. It's more than just tires. You want to check that out. Anyway, we're off for today. Glad you came by. Hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you can join me next time. In the meantime, stay skeptical, stay strong, and above all else, stay loony.
I'm here to cut through the haze, no disguise. Gonna open your eyes to politicians' lies. Canada's great, but led by wackos, it's true. Time for no nonsense, me and you. I'm the common sense loony, hear my call. Ditch bingo night games, we'll fix it all. Common sense loony, that's my tune. Bringing truth to the red and white moon.
Personally, I am a man.